Leaks for Geeks. And it's time for the Leaks for Geeks, the news for the dudes. So, what I got for you is a whole lot of awesome. What I mean by awesome...
It's going to be so good. If it's not awesome, I'm going to need your niece.
Yeah. We're going back to the past, guys. We're going back to the past because you learn the best from the past, okay? So, we're talking tonight about Super Mario 64, boys. Now, I gotta preface this with saying I remember getting my Super Mario 64 game. Happened to run into it.
That's because it came out in 1964, right?
Wow. So rude. 1996,
I'm just joking.
He's calling you old.
Around. I know what he's doing. It's not going to work tonight, Hunter.
Do you think the guy on the gaming podcast doesn't know it's called 64 because it came out on the 64? It was on purpose. I'm yanking his beard that he has.
Yanking my chain.
He has.
You're yanking a single hair at a time. I get it.
So I got to tell you, I was in third grade, walking through the Wally World, and this was back when they used to let you play video games at Wally World, you know?
Yep.
And
they had little controllers.
Yeah, they had the tube TV sitting up on the rack that's bolted in with the controller, and it was like Super Mario 64. You know, it's a three-dimensional game. I'm thinking, oh my God. So I just hopped on it, baby, just playing it, and just fell in love. I told my mom, I was like, I gotta have this. Got to have this. Because I was already playing like Super Nintendo, Sega.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is amazing.
Oh, so you didn't have 64 yet?
No, yeah. They had it there at the store. That's how I found it. I didn't even know about it because I was a kid, you know?
So the game is what sold you on the console 64.
Too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just being able to play it and see it and just, oh my God, this is...
When you jumped into those paintings.
Oh, man. I didn't even know what I was doing. It was just like in a level, you know? I'm just like, what is this? And so I didn't know if I'd be able to get it, though, because that was a pretty high-priced system, you know, for the time. And anyway, Dad was doing good. He just got a promotion I didn't know about, I guess. But they got it for me for Christmas, and then waited all morning for my dad to hook it up. And then, boom, my brother, who's 11 years older than me, gets on it and plays it the rest of the afternoon.
I know. I want to kill him. I want to kill him.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to get a butter knife and slit him. But
that's
anyway,
rough.
Yeah. It's okay, though. I finally got on, and it was just like magic. And I probably didn't put down that N64 controller for years.
Right.
I mean, playing GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye is one of my fondest memories on there.
Yep. Wave Racer.
Donkey Kong Racing.
Donkey Kong. Yep. Mario Kart. You know, just great nostalgia memories. And it's like, nowadays my kids are just going to be flooded with games. But back then, there was them big titles, baby, that you got to go trade with your buddies. You know, hey, I got Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, okay, I'll borrow that. You borrow this.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The good old
so
days.
Good.
A little bit of a rabbit trail, but why? I feel like I don't get those feelings anymore.
I know. It's just like we lived in a different time.
And the 64 was a little bit older for when I started playing it, right? Not to call you old.
No, that's okay.
You said you were in the third grade when it came out in what? 1994?
96.
1996. I was 3.
Right.
So you didn't even know what was going on yet.
Right. So, but anyways, even then, still, when I plugged in the 64, my dad got it from somebody. I don't know who he got it from. And just driving around and stuff, like, I don't know if it was the colors or how they used to do it, but it's just...
I think part of it is...
it pulls you into the game.
Yeah, but you hadn't seen anything like that at the time.
Ryan, I was just thinking about this, okay? Because when you go back to that time, there wasn't all these ways to look at trailers.
Right.
Or like get clips of the game before you experienced it yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I think that's what it is. It's like when you plug it in and you played it, you were experiencing it for the first time no matter what. Whereas now we're well aware of what the graphics changes are going to look like before we play the game, or you know what this whole storyline or what the plot twist is.
Well, not only that, you've got like just within like YouTube videos, cartoons on TV, and other games that you play, we see so much that's 3D rendered now. You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
high-end 3D render to lower-end 3D render. And so it takes a lot to kind of get, wow, this is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
You get that unique feeling.
Sure.
I haven't played that game that we've talked about, the something in the Wisps. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Or
Ori and the Wisps, yeah. But when I watch the previews on that game, I get that feeling. Like I'm just like, this is just completely unique. You know what I mean?
They did their own little spin of something old and made it new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do get that way on really high end games. Like when I sat down for the Resident Evil 7 with Clint on VR, it was that way. I was like, what the freak, man? I'm touching the curtains on the walls, and I'm just like, this is just mind blowing. You know what I mean? It sucked me into it. It takes so much more nowadays to get that.
Oh, for sure.
And like you said, you even that game you're just talking about that looks good for you. You said that you watched a preview on it. Mm-hmm. There was no preview for Banjo-Kazooie, and then there probably was, but I was too young to see those. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like
one little preview. That's it.
The thing
you sit down in
is,
front of your TV, and no matter, even if it's pixelated, you're just excited to see what's around every corner because you haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Well, like for you younger fans out there, we were all on dial-up back then. So, for instance, I was into the pro wrestling scene. I like pro wrestling a lot. So wrestling games would come out, and that's when they had just started putting little videos on AOL on the internet, and it would be like a 10-second clip of this wrestler coming out, and it would be like their version of a preview, right? It would just be him coming out to the ring, and so I would want to see what they looked like, hear the music, how did it sound in the game, that kind of stuff. And for like 10 seconds of footage, we're talking, I had to hit the play button and let it buffer for a good 45 minutes. Yeah, for 10 seconds.
Well, not just that. You didn't even have commercials for really yet. You did for the consoles, but not a whole lot of commercials or airtime for the game, like the visual game.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot of big commercial stuff until like Grand Theft Auto 3. I remember was a big one that started getting traction on game commercials, you know?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't Mario or something big like that, then it just didn't get a trailer, you know?
Right.
And still, like in the 90s, I remember them not showing gameplay. It was just like the fun music and then popping up the logo, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Or just like a cinematic type things. They
did it more like a Kool-Aid commercial. It was just live action kids and some crazy character. You know. Yep.
It's true.
The 90s, baby.
Rabbit trail. It's just such a good time for gaming, like that 64 era.
Yeah.
Well, if you had got the Super Mario 64 back in the day and you took good care of it, you'd be a rich person right now. So I want to start this off by saying last week, the game cartridge known as The Legend of Zelda for the 64 sold for $870,000.
Whoa.
At that time, it was the highest price ever paid for a video game at an auction.
Unopened, like a pristine game?
Yeah. So over the weekend, a sealed copy of the Super Mario 64 sold for $1.56 million at the Heritage Auctions. Says here.
Imagine what that means though is you couldn't even imagine looking that game up before that, right?
Yeah.
Any of them they're probably none for sale, right? So you look at of when they sold. Maybe some went for 20,000 or something just stupid, right?
Right.
But if you had some inside info to where you kind of knew, hey, the Desire roof, but there's none for sale, you could just find somebody who's got one, offer him what sounds ridiculous. Hey, I'll give you 40 grand.
Yeah.
Who's not going to go, here's the game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And 1.5 million?
Yes. It's nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Unopened.
So on Polygon.com, they had posted, I picked one of their articles to read it on for this story, but everyone's been reporting on it. They say here, video game preservation and history experts were surprised to see Super Mario 64 breach that record, despite the pristine quality of the copy. And that's because Super Mario 64 isn't rare. Like you can find it pretty easily, but not sealed. That's the key. It says here that it got a 9.8 WADA rating, and that's a score from the video game grading company that means the quality is near perfect in both production and preservation. Seller Heritage Auctions called the sealed copy of Super Mario 64 the highest graded copy of the game it's ever sold.
Mm.
And then it says here that the WADA's scale goes up to 10, and 9.8 is a very high score, of course, for this particular item. It says that a copy of the Super Mario 64 was graded 9.4 with an A+, and that sold at Heritage Auctions back in January. So this was a previous version. So this would be like your second place. And it came in at $38,400.
38,000. It was, hold on, timeout. Same game, sealed, 9.4, got 34,000.
Yep, it was a 9.4 A+ rating. Now, I believe here this version of Super Mario that sold for over $1 million, was a 9.8, and it was an A++, whatever that means.
But
so
it's a whole nother grade.
That just seems crazy that the same game can have a variance of $1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about one is 40 and the other one is 1.5 million. I mean, who could have guessed that at all? Nobody. That's just, I don't understand it.
But who knows if these prices will stick? I mean, they're, it's auction based. So, so in the article, it kind of goes into more detail. I wasn't going to talk much on it, but just experts kind of sharing their opinion on, because people who are in the preservation historical side of things, some people were worried, like, is this going to make it to where we can't collect this stuff and keep it for history? Because it's going to be just outrageously priced. But they don't seem to think it's going to be a trend. They just think this is a rare occasion that's not going to stick. But anyway, I'm like, dang, should have kept that sealed copy.
That meant the world to them. That brand new, and that's what I was thinking, like, who in their right mind could spend that much money on it? It's somebody out there that when they look at that so pristine in the package, it takes them back to their Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
In 1996. You know what I'm saying? Unopened.
Some super rich person's Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah. But what I'm saying is somebody, you don't just buy that to pop it open and go play it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
This guy, and he may have another copy that he does play if he's a collector, but he's putting it up on the shelf and showing his kids someday, hey, look at this thing. This thing is untouched, and this is what I felt when I, opened this thing.
It's only worth $50,000 now, but I spent your inheritance on it years ago.
Well, no, if you can throw a 1.5 mil on a game, I think you got more in the bank.
Yeah, you'd be
maybe.
right with
But
that.
hey, there's plenty of people that have 10 million in 2 years from
now.
They're broke.
Let me ask you this: with this news coming out, I mean, because it's definitely taken over. I mean, big time news companies were reporting on the sale.
That makes you feel weird about everything being digital.
Was this something that Nintendo looks at and says, is it time for a remake? An update, if you will, new coat of paint. I mean, yeah, it's not.
We don't need a remake or a new coat of paint. We need a whole nother Mario. Like if they came out with a whole nother Mario like that.
I mean, they made like Super Mario Odyssey and stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm saying,
what
if they did a remake of the 64 version of this game?
Of the original?
Just freaking, but HD'd up. I mean, current Mario, just kind of reimagined, right?
It's what's it called though? I mean, yeah, your graphics are going to look way better, but it's still Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, they're doing it with Zelda, with the Skyward Sword game.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. And
there's definitely a huge community that wants to see GoldenEye updated, 007. That's another one.
They have already done it in Odyssey. There's a level that is the old 64 map.
No, really?
And they've souped it up, and it is pretty.
Yeah.
You can't go everywhere and do everything you could in 64, but I think that would be a huge seller if you just did a facelift on
remake
Mario's 64. Yeah, and just resold it. I think it would be a huge hit.
And it only because its controls too are like more timeless. Like if you remake 007, controls are not going to work. It's going to be the worst shooter you've played in years. You know what I'm saying? Like because it was one of the first 3D shooters next to Doom. So, that's not going to work out well. But Mario, because of its control style and everything, they could just smooth it out a little bit. Boom. You're good to go.
Remember the days we had to aim with the D-pad?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, man. I feel old now. That's great.
And it was like you didn't have joysticks yet, so you had to hold down a button to aim.
Yeah, because you're using the one joystick you're doing to run around, you know?
Yeah, I guess you did have a joystick on 64, didn't you?
Yeah. It just had.
And then you had to hold a button down though to then change it to your aiming.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah. Super awkward.
Hey, I always just wanted to see how I could shoot someone in the crotch. You know, that was always my goal in that game. Shoot him in the nads.
I just remember all the codes. It was one of those code games. You know, you had big head code and all that kind of stuff.
Unlimited ammo.
Yep.
Double damage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I think I ever beat the game, actually, if we're being honest. This has been a Delirious Dads production. For more information about the show, visit our website at www.deliriousdadsgaming.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/deliriousdadsgaming, twitch.tv, and YouTube. Make sure you like and share our pages to help us grow the channel. You can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a rating and review if you enjoy the show. Thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.